the supermoons appear larger and brighter than a regular full moon. So this one is called the flower moon because of the proliferation of flowers that are blooming this time of year. So the full supermoon and the flowers starting to really come out makes me think about hope. So hope for how much we can flower and how much we can expand. Often the full moon is referred to as being in a state of purna, which is a Sanskrit word, P-U-R-N-A, purna, which means fullness. So at this time when the moon is full and appears really bright for us, when the flowers are starting to really open up for us, let's tap into our fullness. If you feel that over the last many weeks, you have sort of been dampened down by staying home, let's, through our yoga practice, tap into a sense of really being full and open to possibility, to brightness, to our full flower. So first, mute yourself if you're not muted already. And then we'll get going. All right, everybody's looking good. Now find a comfortable seat on your mat and close your eyes. With your next inhale, sit up a little bit more, get a little taller, and roll your shoulders back a little bit more. And now with this broader chest, take in deeper inhales. And then on the corresponding part of the breath, the exhale, let all of that breath go, making room for the next inhale. Feel the fullness of your breath. If it helps, you can place left hand on your heart and right hand on your belly, and feel that expansion and contraction of your breath underneath your hands. Today, we tap into our fullness, to our brightness, to our ability to blossom and grow no matter the circumstances. Bring your hands together at your heart in Anjali Mudra. And make a commitment to yourself for this practice, perhaps for this day, perhaps for the rest of this week, the rest of this month, to grow into whatever fullness means for you, to grow into the fullness of your body, to grow into the fullness of the connection of your mind, your body, and your heart. To not be small, but to be big and bright. Take a really deep breath in through your nose here. And then exhale through your mouth. Let the breath go. Let the moment go. As you exhale again, release your hands down to your legs and open up your eyes. All right, here we go, getting into our fullness practice. If you want to follow along with the playlist, it's on Spotify under my Spotify name, EDYM428. Today is Virtual Yoga 5/7, May 7th, Virtual Yoga 5/7. Now would be the time to press play. You know, you can always play any music you like for this too. And now come onto your belly. We're going to take Crocodile Pose on the mat. So come onto your belly with your legs extended back and maybe a little bit wide. Bring your one palm to the mat, place the other palm on top of that hand, and then bring your forehead on top of the top hand. So we get low, we get close to the earth, we root into it so that from there we can grow into our fullness. This crocodile pose is a great place to feel your breath. So take big inhales and long exhales. And feel that movement of the breath through your chest and through your belly. And then gently start to take your hips side to side a little bit, adding a little bit of movement. And then bring your hips to stillness, lift your head up, take your hands under your shoulders to begin, and then widen them out a little bit. Draw your legs straight back from your hips, so your legs are parallel to one another. As you inhale, lift your chest up a little bit. As you exhale, dip your right shoulder down towards the mat, pull your left shoulder back, and look back past your left shoulder. Inhale to the middle, exhale, left shoulder lowers, right shoulder pulls back. And keep going, inhaling to the middle, and then exhaling for this little twist that's also a shoulder opener. Connecting your movement to the rhythm of your breath, lifting your chest up just a little bit. It's the tiniest bit of a cobra here as you sway side to side. And then as you're ready, maybe you start to roll those shoulders. Instead of just dipping them down, you roll one shoulder and then the other. Let your neck and your head get in on this rolling around, lifting up, opening now into the upper back a little bit. A few more rolls here. And then come into the middle, lift your chest up a little bit more of a cobra here, and then exhale back down to the mat. Use your next inhale to lift up to hands and knees, gradually growing up away from the earth. Now we're on hands and knees. Exhale, cat pose, round the back, open it up. Inhale, cow pose, open up the front of the body. Keep going, matching your movement to your breath. And now, maybe as you're ready, you add circles into this cat and cow. So you roll the rib cage around one way a few times, roll the rib cage around a few times the other way, getting a fullness into the front, the sides, and the back of the body. Once you feel that you're even with your rolling, come into neutral, tuck your toes under. We'll take downward facing dog. And in this downward dog, take your feet out as wide as your mat is. So take up space. That's what being full is. Take up as much space as you need. Don't play small, don't act small. With your feet wide, shift your hip way over to one side and then to the middle, and then way over to the other side, swaying back and forth. Opening the back body, you might also feel the side body start to open here as you sway. And then once you've swayed an equal number of times to each side, or if you're not counting and you just feel even, then look forward, keep your feet wide, and walk your feet to the front of your mat with your feet as wide as your mat is. If you want to take up more space, get fuller. Take your feet wider, fold over your legs, and hold on to your elbows. Let your head hang down here. Bend into your right knee, shift your weight over into your right foot, and then inhale, straighten the right leg, exhale, bend into the left knee. So just taking the hips side to side as you bend one knee and then straighten it back out. Still keeping the forward bend. And when you've swayed, what feels like an equal amount of times to each side, come into the middle, and then inhale. We're going to stand all the way up and take the arms up overhead now. Feet are still wide. Stretch your arms up overhead. Really lift up. Take a little bit of a back bend here. And then as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Feet are still wide. Close your eyes for a moment. And remember why we're here today. Our mission, our goal in our practice is to come into full flower, full moon, full bloom, Keep your feet where they are. Inhale, arms up overhead, interlace your fingers. Keep your index fingers pointing up. Take a breath in here. As you exhale, arc over to the right. Inhale, back up. Exhale, arc to the left. Inhale up. We're going to go to the right again. I'm going to come a little bit closer and kneel down just so you can see me, but you're going to stay standing. Exhale to the right, and then lean forward a little bit like a cat spine. Lean over to the left, side body long, and then lean back, cow spine here in your back bend, and then keep going around to the right, to the front, to the left, and then back behind you. One more time in this direction. Right, front, left, and back. And then inhale, come up to the middle. Now we'll go take these circles around in the opposite direction. Maybe widening the circles each time you go around. Take a breath in, stretch up. Exhale to the left, and then forward, and over to the right, and then back for a back bend, opening the front body. To the left, forward, right, and back. One more rotation all the way around. When you finish that back bend, come back upright, and then exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Flowing with the breath here. Inhale, take your arms up high, bring your feet back in, hip width distance apart. Exhale, forward bend, fold down to the mat. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale brings you to plank pose. Stay strong in your plank. Exhale, lower that plank down to chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, maybe upward dog if you're feeling that. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 rounds of breath here. And then bring your feet to the top of your mat, fold into them. And with the next inhale, rise up. Standing up tall, blooming, blossoming, lifting up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, lift the arms up high, circle them up. Exhale, circle your hands out and down, fold into your legs. Inhale, stretch forward. On your exhale, take your vinyasa, stepping back to downward dog or maybe jumping into chaturanga. Whatever your vinyasa looks like for you, use breath to connect movement. From downward dog, lift your right leg back and up behind you, stretch it up, find the muscles on the back of the leg, lift them, and then exhale, lunge your foot to the front of your mat. Warrior 1, spin your back heel down, and then inhale, lift up through your heart. Here we're going to interlace the fingers again, elbows point forward. Take your hands behind the base of your skull and wedge the forearms into the sides of your head. Press your head back into your arms, charge into the back leg, point the elbows up to the sky, bend into the front knee, keep everything you're doing, but release the hands, open them up. Take your arms out a little wider than you do in your normal warrior 1. Open up into the fullness of the pose here. And then as you exhale, circle your arms out, interlace them behind your back, roll the shoulders back, big breath in, exhale, humble warrior, fold inside your front leg. And bring your hands away from your back, folding over, letting your head drop down, letting your shoulders open up. On your next exhale, release your hands down to either side of the front foot. Lift the back heel up. Put a little weight into your left hand. As you inhale, take the right arm forward and up to the sky. Roll open here. As you exhale, reach your hand back and down to the floor. 2 more circles around. Inhale, lifts up. When you get to the top, open and blossom a little bit more, and then exhale, fold down. 1 more rotation around. Hand down to the mat. All right, here we go. 1 leg dog, right leg back and up behind you. This time, bend your knee and twist open. Keep the twist, but straighten that right leg out. Take a breath in here, and as you exhale, you're gonna circle that straight right leg out to the right and tap your toe down on the outside of your right wrist. Inhale, circle it back up and around to the twist with the straight leg. 2 more times. Bring the leg around, semicircle, tap it down. Inhale, reach it back and up. Make your twist happen with a straight leg. 1 more time, circle around here. Inhale, take your leg back. This time with the knee, with the twist, bend the knee. So you still got that right leg lifted, just the knee is bent. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bring your right knee to the outside of your left elbow. Inhale, stretch it back. Knee stays bent as you twist open. 2 more times. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, reach back. This time when you come forward, draw that knee over to the left elbow, stretch the right foot out to the left, lower your back heel down, take your left arm up into the air and open up here. It's a big asymmetrical back bend. Flower into it. Exhale, hand down to the mat. 1 leg dog is the last time for a while on this side. 1 leg vinyasa or 2 leg vinyasa. Flow through. I don't know about you, but trying to talk through that really got me out of breath. All right, from downward dog, bring your feet up to the top of your mat. Fold down over the legs, and then inhale, lift up, rise up tall. Exhale, hands to your heart. I know, Heather, me too. Second side, be open, be full, be bright. Inhale, arms lift up. Exhale, flow down. Inhale, lengthen out. Take your vinyasa. Maybe that means stepping back to downward dog and breathing in your downward dog. Once we've all met in downward dog, inhale, left leg back and up behind you. Exhale, lunge your foot to the top of your mat. Come into warrior 1. Back heel down. Inhale, both arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers with the other thumb on top. Wedge your 1 fist you've created behind the base of your skull. Point the elbows forward and then rotate the elbows up to the sky. Opening across the chest, across the belly. Keep what you've got. Stretch the arms back and up behind you. Unlace the fingers. Take the arms a little wider so you feel fuller here. Deep breath in. As you exhale, circle your arms down. Interlace them again behind your back. Roll your shoulders back. And then exhale, forward bend. It's called humble warrior. Inside the front leg. Bringing your hands away from your back. Listening to your shoulders here. And then on an exhale, bring your hands down to either side of the front foot. We'll lift the back heel up and put a little weight into the right hand. As you inhale, take the left arm forward and up. When you get to the top, roll open a little bit more. Exhale, hand down to the floor. 2 more circles. Inhale. Exhale, reach back and down. Once more, lift up and roll open at the top. Exhale, hand down to the mat. Here we go, it's the fun part. Inhale, left leg back and up behind you. Bend your knee and twist open. So here, keep the twist, straighten your leg. You're gonna keep that leg straight as you take it out to the side in a semicircle and tap your toes down on the outside of your left wrist. Inhale, take it back and up. 2 more. Exhale, out and down. Inhale, back and up. 1 more. Bring it around. Inhale, back and up. Keep the one-leg dog with a twist. Now bend your knee. That knee will stay bent. Take a breath in here. As you exhale, bring that left knee to the outside of the right elbow as you come forward into plank. Inhale, back and up into the one-leg dog with a twist. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, reach back. On this last one, bring the knee forward, shoot your foot over to the right, spin the back heel all the way to the ground, lift up through the right arm, roll the right shoulder back, push down into each limb on the floor so you can blossom up through your heart, and then exhale, hand back to the mat, one leg dog, left leg lifts, one leg vinyasa, or maybe put your foot down, hold a downward dog. And now bring your feet to the top of your mat. Fold over your legs. And as you inhale, lift up, stand tall, touch your palms above your head. See how tall you can grow here. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, float down. Inhale, lengthen out. Take your vinyasa, meet me in a downward facing dog. So I should have told you this before you got into your downward dog, but if you'd like a block under your hand for half moon pose, put that block at the front right side of your mat. And then get back to downward dog. All right, inhale, right leg back and up behind you, bend your knee and twist open here. So we're gonna hold the twist right here and see if we can get light into the right hand. Just a little bit, lifting the heel of the hand up, maybe the fingertips up, finding a little bit of hang time, a little bit of balance, and then put your hand back down to the mat. Stretch your right leg back and up behind you. As you exhale, lunge your foot to the front of your mat. We're gonna come back to warrior one again. Back heel down, inhale, rise up. Maybe spread the arms out a little bit more so you feel a broadness, a fullness into your chest, into your heart. Take a breath in here. On your exhale, warrior three. Come forward, lean into your right foot. Lift the left leg back and up behind you. Stay really strong into your core here. Take a breath in as you exhale, half moon pose. Right fingers to the ground or your block. Left fingers to the sky. Roll the left side body open. Stay here, holding your balance, being full in each limb, stretching in every direction. Take one breath in here. Use your exhale to transition to warrior two, leaning back into the back foot, lifting the torso up. You got it. Straighten the front leg, reverse triangle pose. Back hand light on the back thigh, right arm right by your ear. As you stretch back, get long and full into your right side body. Inhale, lift back up. Turn to face the long left side of your mat. So square your feet up, wide leg stance. Take your hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers, draw your shoulders back, lift the chest up. A hint of a back bend here. Slide your hands down as you open the chest up, full blossom to the sky. And then exhale, forward bend. Keeping the hands interlaced, folding over, a little more shoulder opening here. Release your hands down to the mat. So we're going to take a side lunge into the right knee and hold that side lunge on the right. You're going to take your right arm right inside that right leg. I use my elbow to push my right knee out to the right a little bit more. Here, we'll twist around to the left. So you pick up that left arm, lift it up to the sky. You can stay right here a little higher, or your ankles and your knees will go for it. You can take your hips lower. If you get low at the hips, think about pointing the left toes up towards the ceiling as you roll open here. And then inhale, hand back down, straighten the right leg, come into the center. And then exhale to the left. Bend into the left knee. Take that left arm right inside the left leg. Use the arm to widen the knee out to the side a little bit. First option, keep the hips at this height and then sweep the right arm out to the right and up into your twist open. Second option is to get lower, taking the hips down, maybe pointing the right toes up towards the ceiling as you roll around, opening into the twist. And then inhale, release, hand down to the mat, straighten your legs, fold over them here. Just a couple of breaths to fold in. And then inhale, rise up. Take your arms out side to side. Point your right toes to the front of your mat. It's triangle pose time. Take a deep breath in and lengthen up through your torso. As you exhale, keep that torso long as you reach forward, and then bring your right fingers down to the floor. Roll your top shoulder open. Take your gaze up past your top hand. Maybe you turn this into more of a back bend. Walking your grounded fingers back a little bit more and leaning back through your chest. Taking your top hand back, one breath in here, and then exhale, hands to the front of the mat, coming into lunge, one leg dog, right leg high behind you, one leg vinyasa time. From downward dog, inhale, left leg back and up behind you. Lift it up high, and then as you exhale, lunge your foot to the top of your mat. We'll come back up to warrior one again. Back heel down, inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. Open it up a little bit more here. So a really full warrior one. Taking up space, owning your pose, coming into your fullness. And then as you exhale, warrior three, lean forward into that left foot. Lift the right leg up to about hip height. So you gotta stay really strong into your core in the back and in the front to hold the pose. Exhale, half moon pose. Left fingers to the ground or your block, right fingers to the sky. Roll that right side body back, opening up here. Holding in your steadiness, in your fullness as you really stretch out. One breath in here, and then as you exhale, slowly step back into warrior two. Landing, and then straighten the front leg, reverse triangle pose. Lengthen through the left side. Inhale, come back up, and then you'll turn to face the right long side of your mat. So on this side, we'll do something a little different. Take your hands behind your back again, interlace, and then fold forward. Bring your hands away from your back. And then here comes the different part. Lower your hands to the mat. Inhale, stretch your spine forward. We're going to do side lunges again. There will be 8 total, so that's 4 each side. Do them on your own. So you can keep those hips high, or if you like, you can get really low. Just depends on what your ankles and your knees will tolerate here. So we're trying to come into our fullness. If you go into a place of pain, that's a place of contraction. So go where you're feeling an opening, but not pain. When you finish all 8, come to the middle, or if you're not counting, but you feel even, come to the middle, fold in just a little bit more here. Whatever you need, whatever hand placement works for you to go a little bit deeper. And then inhale, rise up. Turn your front toes towards the front of your mat. Open your arms out front and back. Triangle pose. Stretch forward. Fingertips touch down. Open up into your triangle. And again, you can turn this triangle pose into a back bend by taking the left fingers back and rolling open through the heart, taking your head back, curling it back. And then on an exhale, let all that go. Hands down to the front of the mat. One leg dog, left leg lifts back and up. Oh, I forgot your balance time here. Let's get that in. So with the left leg lifted back and up behind you, bend that left knee and twist open. And then from there, start to get lighter into your left hand, lifting it up just a little bit. Maybe the whole hand comes off the floor, and then lower it back down. If you took your flow, then you're going to bring your feet to the top of your mat. If you want your flow, now's the time to put it in, using your breath to guide you into fullness in each posture in that flow. It's easy for them all to blur together, just like it's easy for the days of quarantine to blur together, but make each part distinctive and full. And when you're done, you bring your feet up to the top of your mat, and we'll stand in forward bend over the legs. And then inhale, rise up, sweep the arms out, stand tall, blooming here, blossoming from your feet up through your fingertips. Exhale, hands to your heart. So we're going to take the feet wide again. We're going for Malasana, which is a squat. So walk, you keep your feet right at the front of your mat. Widen them out a little bit. So first option is just to come down into the half squat here, if that's what your knees and ankles will allow. You can rest your forearms or elbows on the tops of your thighs. Think about pressing your hips back and taking your heart forward so you create a little bit of a back bend. If you're coming all the way down into the low squat, bring your arms to the insides of your legs, palms together, and then lift your chest up a little bit. Trying to open up outer hips and inner thighs here. Maybe stretching across the low back. Those of you who are up higher in the half squat are getting quad workout. And then exhale, let it go. Hands to the mat, bring the feet back in, hip width distance apart. Take your vinyasa here. We'll meet in downward dog. Okay, from downward dog, inhale, plank. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. And then we're going to lower back down to our bellies. Bend your right knee. Reach back with your right hand or your strap. Grab your foot and hug your heel in towards your hip. Just a couple of deep breaths here. Again, on your belly, you can really feel the breath through the belly and the chest.
as you open up the front of the right thigh. And then exhale, release the thigh back. Make your way to downward facing dog. All right, step your left foot in about 2 inches. Turn your left toes out to the left or at about a 45-degree angle. So you're angling your left heel in and angling your left toes out. Look up between your hands. As you inhale, take your right leg back and up behind you. So you're going to keep the hips square as you bend the right knee. Pull into your core, start getting lighter in the left hand. So maybe the heel of the hand comes up, maybe a few of the fingers, maybe all of the fingers. If the whole hand comes off the mat, reach the hand back, grab your right foot, so we'll be grabbing the inside of the foot. Look up at the front of your mat, look out past the front of your mat. Push your foot into your hand, lift your chest open. So you're using this bind to open up into fullness here, and then exhale, release. Hand to the front of the mat, lunge your right foot up to the front of your mat. Straighten the right leg and fold over it. Keep a tiny bend into that right knee. As you inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. So that right leg just has a micro bend in it. And here, take a back bend, opening the chest up, maybe widening the arms out. One more breath in here. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down on the inside of that right leg. So we're going to go for a one leg crow pose version 2. So I'm going to talk you through it. Widen that right foot out a little bit, and then bend into the right knee. Place your both hands down on your mat, underneath your shoulders, maybe just a little bit farther back if your wrist will tolerate that. So we're going to step that back foot forward behind the left wrist. So step the foot forward. You can turn the left toes out to the left and bend into the left knee. So we're in this weird staggered squat here. Look out past the front of your mat. Clamp your left knee onto your outer left arm. Start working the right foot forward so the right leg is straight. We're almost ready for liftoff. Pull into the belly, push into the hands. Squeeze the inner thighs onto the arms. Maybe you can lift that right foot up. Maybe you can lift the left foot off the mat. Lifting up, catching a little bit of flight, coming into fullness there. I see it. And then bring your feet down however you can. And we'll have them at the front of the mat, and we'll stand in forward bend at the front of the mat. Inhale, rise up to stand, reach up tall. Exhale, hands to your heart. So we'll do a little wrist release here before we take the second side. So I'm just coming closer so you can see. You're going to take the outside of your hand onto the outside of your rib cage. And first we'll have, so the fingertips point back behind, elbows flare out to the side. Take a breath here, and then as you're ready, start to point those elbows back behind you, opening up the front of the wrist. If this is not working for you, you can shake out your hands however you like, just trying to open the front of the wrist here. All right, bring your hands back to your heart. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, lengthen out, maybe on your belly. I'll meet you there. Vinyasa will take you down to your belly. And once you're there, bend your left knee, reach back with your left hand, grab your foot, hug your heel in towards your hip. Some long breaths, feeling the fullness of the breath in and out. And then on your next exhale, straighten that left leg back behind you. Make your way to downward dog. So we start in a normal downward dog, and then we bring the right foot in just a little bit to shorten up the downward dog. Turn the right toes out just a little and the right heel in. It's going to help with the balance that foot placement does. As you inhale, take the left leg back and up behind you. Try to keep the hips square as you bend the left knee and pull your heel in towards your hip. Look up at the front of, between your hands or at the front of your mat, whatever your neck will allow. Get lighter into your right hand. Lifting the palm up, maybe the fingers up. If you get the fingers up, reach your hand back past your right hip. See if you can find the inside of that left foot and bind. Hold on there. Now that you've got the bind, push your foot into your hand. Take your shoulders a little bit forward. Take your gaze forward. Open up one leg, downward dog, scorpion. And then exhale, release, hand to the mat. Stretch your left leg back. And then on an exhale, lunge it up to the front of your mat. And then straighten that left leg, fold down into it. Just opening up the back of the left leg here, preparing it for that one leg crow pose version 2. With a micro bend in your left knee, sweep your arms forward, lift up overhead, and then take a back bend here, widening the arms apart a little bit more, opening across the front body. And then on an exhale, bend your front knee, bring your hands down on the inside of that left leg. Work the left foot a little bit wider. All right, preparing for the one leg crow pose again. So walk the hands back. You've got your left arm on the inside of the left leg, hands shoulder width distance apart, and maybe a little bit farther back than the shoulders are. Step your right foot forward behind the right wrist. So the right toes will point out at an angle again. So we've got this weird squat that we're in, and from the weird squat, we go to the one leg crow pose version 2. Squeeze your knees in onto your arms. Lower your hips down a little bit to get you started. Stretch your left leg forward. You can have the left foot on the ground to start, and then pull into the belly, push into the hands, start to lift up that right foot, pointing the toes back behind you, and then lift the left foot off the ground, squeezing into the belly to help hold you, to lift you. And then however you can get out of that, lower your feet to the mat, standing forward bend. Let's take the palms to the soles of the feet. So this will be our wrist released here. Bend your knees as much as you need to get the palms all the way under the soles of the feet. And then if you have the room, work the legs straighter. If your legs are already straight, point your elbows back towards your shins to open up the front of your wrist. Okay, release your hands from underneath your feet. Last time, inhale, rise up, stand tall, reach your arms up overhead. Full flower, full bloom, full moon, Purna, fullness here, and then exhale, hands to your heart. We got to get to all fours, however you want to get there. This will be your last flow opportunity if you want it, or you can just come on down to hands and knees. So from all fours, we're gonna get set for cow face pose legs. We're gonna do the legs, not the upper body. The legs are enough of a challenge. So bring your left knee to the center of your mat. So center between the right and left sides. Stretch that right leg back and then bend the right knee to the outside of the left knee. Work the feet away from each other. and then start to walk your hips back until you come into a seat. So if this doesn't work for your knees or your hips or your low back, you can do the same pose on your back. So if you're comfortable here, stay here. If not, I'll show you on your back. You'll come onto your back, cross your left leg over the right, and separate the feet apart from one another, reaching up to grab whatever part of your shins you can. If you're here and you grab your feet, make sure to keep the outer edges of the feet, outer ankles really working here. If you're in the seat, take your hands behind you, lift your chest up, press the outer edges of the feet into the floor. Take a breath in here, front body is long, try to keep that length as you exhale and bow forward. Take your hands out in front of you. As you inhale, start to walk back up. Here, you're going to straighten that left leg straight out in front of you, and then bring the right knee out to the right just a little bit so that the front of the right shin is parallel with the front of your mat. We'll take a back bend here. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can see me. Take your right hand behind you, your fingertips pointing back, strong into the right shoulder, left arm out in front. Deep breath in here as you exhale. Circle that left hand around to the right. Push down into your right hand, right knee, left foot. And then open up here, rolling back through your shoulder, back through your left arm. And then as you inhale, circle back around the way that you went in. All right, we got to get back to cow face pose on the other side. I like to come into it from hands and knees. If you're coming into it from your back, or if you want to be on your back in the pose, come onto your back. You'll have your right thigh on top of your left. If you want to do the pose seated, come onto all fours. Walk that right knee closer to the center of your mat. Stretch your left leg back, and then bend the left knee, tucking it behind the right leg. Separate the feet apart from one another, and then take your hips back. If you're on your back, you grab your base of your shins or your feet, whatever you can get purchase on to help you open up a little bit more. If you're seated, take your hands behind you. Push down into your hands so you lift your heart up, creating space, fullness, and then exhale, bow forward, bring the hands out in front, fold over your legs. On your inhale, start to come up. If you're on your back, you'll come to a seat, and we'll stretch the right leg out in front. So the left ankle is underneath the right leg, and you've got that left shin parallel to the front of your mat. Take your left hand behind you, fingers point back, get strong into your shoulder, roll it back, push down into your hand. Right arm in front, take a breath in. As you exhale, circle around, pushing into left hand, left knee, right foot, and then roll open here. Really coming into fullness of the front body in this back bend. And then on an inhale, circle back around. We'll come to a seat. So from your seat, bend your knees. We've got just a couple of seated poses that have a little bit of balance to them.
or maybe a lot. So here, you're going to reach down and grab the outer edges of your feet, roll back a little bit until you can get your shins parallel to the ground here. If that's not working, grab the outsides of your thighs. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, start to work those legs straight or towards straight. Using your core to help you sit up here, lifting your chest towards your thighs, pulling your thighs in towards your chest. Take a breath in. As you exhale, separate the legs, taking them out wide. See if you can lift your chest up a little bit more. Maybe take your gaze up here. Pull the feet back a little bit more. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, soles of the feet together, outer edges of the feet to the mat. Baddha Konasana. Exhale, fold forward. As you inhale, lift back up. And now we'll take one inversion and one back bend. So inversion can be shoulder stand, legs up the wall, headstand, handstand. We're just going to try to hold it for maybe about a minute. Whatever inversion feels good for you. I'm going to go into headstand. You can take whatever inversion you like. Maybe a block or something that's like a block underneath your hips if you want a supported shoulder stand. But think about using this inversion as an opportunity to come into, again, a flowering and opening up of fullness, where you find your balance, find your steadiness. Taking any versions of these poses. We're going into Shavasana. Come onto your back. Take a big inhale through your nose. Full exhale through your mouth. And let yourself sink into your back body. You're fully supported there in the back. So from that support at the back, let the front really open up. Maybe shimmy those shoulder blades under you just a little bit so that you can have fullness across your chest. And allow the breath to float in and float out. No controlling of the breath, just letting it be. Stay with your breath, stay on your back. Stay with an openness and an ease. Open your breath up a little bit here, a little deeper inhale, and a full exhale. Before you otherwise begin moving your body, once again, feel how rooted and grounded you are. And from that ground, you can begin to blossom and grow. And we will reawaken now, opening hands, moving toes. Stretch however it feels good for you, full stretch with arms overhead or hugging the knees in. Whatever sort of stretch brings you into a type of fullness in your body. And on an exhale, bend your knees, roll to your side, and take a moment here to honor yourself, to honor that beautiful, full super moon, that flower moon within you, to honor the seeds that you have planted that are now blooming and showing beautiful colors. And then use another exhale to bring yourself to a seat. And once you're there, join your hands at your heart and close your eyes. I hope that as you go through your day, you're able to tap into this idea of purna, of fullness, tap into the brightness of the moon, of this super flower moon, and see and feel the beauty of the flowers, and see all of that within you as well. The purna, the fullness within me, bows to the purna within you. Namaste.